over the weekend, The Guardian, Vanguard, and Punch, all various publications within Nigeria, reported that Mr. Eazi sold a company for $1 billion. Now, these reports are factually inaccurate. Kenim Obaigbena, music entrepreneur and founder of OVG's Brand Video Pro and Entertainment Business podcast, has dispelled these claims. Now, Kenim Obaigbena joins me on the show right now. Kenim, when I saw this story, the first thing that came to my head was, wow, that is a lot of money, but that doesn't sound accurate. This speaks to a lot of different issues, jumping into conclusions amongst others. But let's go back to the basics. What exactly is going on here? How did we even get to the point where people are thinking Zagadat was the business that was sold as opposed to Vydia?
Okay, so I believe they did report that Vydia was sold for $1 billion, and that part is factually inaccurate. So Larry Jackson, who was the former global creative director at Apple Music, he basically has a company called Gamma, and it's backed by $1 billion. And so that company bought Vydia for $250 million, right? And Mr. Eazi, his company Empower, as well as other companies from Russ, if you know the rapper Russ, if you know French Montana, Immensa Music, they all have joint venture deals with Vydia, and which allows them to have sort of like an equity deal in Vydia. So once, Vydia was sold for that amount, they all got a payout, right? But the payout number, it's alleged it's around more about $1 million, maybe $500,000, $200,000, around that in terms of their equity deals. So I've heard from a few, it's around that number for their equity deal. So it's not the exact what. First of all, the $1 billion was made up. So it's like 250 that the company was sold for, and the equity partners got paid out a much smaller amount. And now, as far as Vydia, the CEO, because I know a lot of these publications were claiming that Mr. Eazi's Vydia, when you actually just go on Google right now, look at the CEO, it's Roy Lamana. He's the CEO and founder. So I think it's misleading, some of this information that they're putting out.
I completely agree with you. And I feel like one of the major things that really stood out for me was, Mr. Eazi actually tweeting about this, celebrating the fact that, listen, this is why more people need to invest in, other companies. This is why you need to take out time to really investigate companies that have strong potential. But what I'm also curious about is what this means for a lot of Nigerian music businesses. A lot of people strongly believe that, listen, the music business really just ends at releasing music, distribution, but clearly there's so much more to that entire industry that we haven't even begun to scratch the surface of here in Nigeria, isn't there?
So what I want to make this very clear. If this happened, it is good news, and I do believe that we will see the next Afrobeats billionaire in the coming years. I think it's very, very possible. Now, the issue with this being factually inaccurate is because the West is looking at us. They're looking at these. Look, the internet is worldwide. People are getting alerts, Google alerts when their companies are being mentioned. So there are people that own that company. There are people that did these deals, from Apple to Vydia. And so when they're getting these alerts that are not accurate, and it's coming from Nigeria and Nigeria's biggest media publications, it looks bad for Nigeria. Now, I am not coming from the perspective that we have to look good to the West. It's not about that, right? It's about, first of all, we have to have integrity internally, right? To build better infrastructure. That's first. Secondly, there are already a lot of barriers to entry in the music industry, right? You have everything from even licensing music. There are certain companies in the West that won't work with you if you're coming from Nigeria. They want to hear from somebody else in the West, right? Or if it's a white man, they want to do all those things. So there are a lot of barriers to entry, and us reporting inaccurate information, it actually looks bad on us. So this is why I felt the need to come out and speak out about it. It's not about, trying to make Mr. Eazi look bad or anything. I don't even think he has anything to do with this publication, but it's really about, let's get the facts right. And let's usher in the new wave of Afrobeats multi-millionaires and billionaires, because I know that it will definitely happen very soon.
I completely agree with you. So let's look at what Mr. Eazi even said. So when this whole thing happened, on the 8th of April, Mr. Eazi tweeted, "Cat's out of the bag, proud investor. My company Empower invested in Vydia Official. We just got acquired. I beg, tell Larry to call me." Would you say this was the tweet that just started the whole thing, where people just assumed that it was his company he was referring to?
Absolutely. And, at the end of the day, look, he was an equity partner. So he is a shareholder. So you can call him a part owner. There's so many other part owners. But the way that the media sort of branded it,
Yeah.
And also the numbers were not accurate. So it just looks bad. It's bad reporting. So it's really not anything to do with him. Look, at the end of the day, even Black China, people announced that she made $250 million. She didn't go out. She didn't go out and dispel that because it makes her look good. But she went on Forbes, and that warranted her an interview on Forbes. And then on Forbes, she was kind of like, no, that number's not right. I got $2 million. But it made her look good. And you know what? We love it. It's great branding and packaging for him.
Yeah.
But let's get the facts right. Let's, represent Afrobeats and show that there's integrity. That's why I came to Arise News. People trust Arise News for, real news, factual news. Everybody has been following during the elections. So let's come to Arise News and say, look, let's get the facts right.
Absolutely. This takes me back to when Lil Wayne saw his net worth on the internet, and he was like, "I don't know who you guys are talking about, but that is not me." But Kenan, before I let you go, I wanted to just briefly touch on another conversation that's really been making the rounds with regard to the Twitter verification badges. Now, some people are now saying, Elon Musk, we didn't ask you for this badge. You want us to all subscribe. Why are you giving this out for free to some people? Is this weird? Does it make Twitter look desperate in any way? Like, for instance, a couple of rappers are coming out to say they're having their badge valid. Meanwhile, they're not paying for subscription. LeBron James saying, "Why is this badge here?" Even in Nigeria, Aisha Yusufu tweeting, "Listen, I didn't ask you for this badge. What's going on? I'm not paying." Does this make Twitter look desperate?
No, let's realize that Elon Musk bought Twitter for $44 billion. And now Twitter is valuated at about half of that, right? So he's lost a lot of money. Right. And he needs to make money. And you know what? To be honest, the real question is, if you don't care about the badge, don't get it. Well, why is it a big deal? A lot of people use this for status to make themselves feel good, that they're important. And so, look, in business, you're going to find where there's value and you're going to charge people for it. That's the nature of business. Twitter needs to make money. He's spent a lot of money acquiring it, and he knows that people value this. So hell yes, I'm going to charge you for this. And if it's not important to you, the only people that really care about it are not the A-listers, but it's like the Z-listers, B-listers, not even B-listers, like Z-listers, like Jason Lee, Grant Cardone, all these like influencers that nobody knows who they are. Those are the people that care about it because that was their sort of ability to feel like they were more important than other people. Right, they felt relevant. Oh, look, I have a blue check mark. I'm important, but unfortunately, that's not how it works anymore. Look, the internet is changing. There's so much that's changing and disrupting on the internet landscape, and we have to adapt. And you can no longer feel like you're superior just because you have a blue check mark. I'm sorry about that. Exactly.
That's just facts on facts. Well, let's see how this all plays out. Kenan Obaigbena, major entrepreneur, founder of OVG's Brand Video Pro. Fantastic work you have there with the video podcast. Thanks a lot for joining me on Arise 360.